welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me again for another week in my life, aka I'm attempting to read vlog. Last week was really bad reading wise. The week before was really good reading wise. So let's just do a really good reading week and then a really bad reading weekend, okay? Because this weekend I'm actually meeting up with a couple of people from the Goodreads group. We're going to have a wonderful weekend. What's on the reading plan for this week? Well, first off, I have to finish Nice Try Jane Sinner. I'm on page 100 and something. Nice Try Jane Sinner is about a girl who did something in school so that she had to go to therapy or wasn't allowed to come back to high school. Instead, she enrolled in community college. Didn't know that was possible without a high school diploma, but apparently I think you can just finish your high school in community college. On that campus, she isn't able to afford really any sort of living, but she really wanted to move out. She's taking part in this reality TV show similar to like Big Brother, but on campus and student run. And for that she can win a car and also live not rent-free, but like with only $200 of rent a month in a nice house. I'm expecting guilty pleasure. I'm not expecting this to go too deep. Aside from that, I want to read All the Crooked Saints and 5 Feet Apart and the second book in the Children of Blood and Bone, because all three of these are traveling books from the Goodreads group that I mentioned earlier that I'm meeting this weekend. If you've been on my channel for a while, you have seen me read this and explain this a million times, but if you're new to my channel, in this group we pass on books to other people and we all pick a color and write in the books. By the time a couple of people have read it, it feels like a full-on conversation going on it feels like reading the book with other people, and it's awesome. I also want to finish The Dragon Reborn, which is a buddy read with Lucienne. Linking her channel down below. I have agreed with Yerba to buddy read Dry this week. We have been trying to read Dry for 3 months now, I believe. This week is going to be our week. Right now I'm driving over to the Netherlands because I need to send off a book to the US. Somebody purchased an exclusive edition from me, selling a lot of my exclusive editions to get some money for repairs on my car and just all the kinds of things that happen in life. As I mentioned during my last giveaway update for August, the German mail has raised prices that are completely ridiculous. So I found out that if I drive over to the Netherlands, I can send a book for 29 euros 30 postage, which is still ridiculous. But if it is an expensive, important, exclusive edition that you would like to have, then I kind of get it. But it's not worth it if it's just a book, you know. Do a little bit of shopping and then get back home and start working, because boy, I have a lot of things to get done today. My flowers beautifully. I feel like they look really good now. I still can arrange them well, so I wish they would come arranged, but I think it's like an extra $10 to have them already arranged in a bouquet, and then it's not exactly to my liking, not the way they have it in the pictures. Before I go to work, the Teapro came. I have been unboxing the Teapro a couple of times now on my channel. We are getting closer to the 1 year mark. The Teapro is a loose leaf tea subscription box, and this so far is my favorite when it comes to quality and non-infused with like artificial flavors. So this is like pure tea. And what I love about this as well, this is tea education. So every box has a different tea theme. So it's either green tea or black tea or white tea. 12 different boxes. I think it cost $30. The first ones had some gimmicks in it, which I liked, and now it's just tea. But honestly, the Teapro is the best quality that I've seen. So as you can see, there's always some education about how it's made, where it's from, some benefits, more information about how it's done, and this is information about the box. Sometimes they have information about each package, what it's inside, but that doesn't seem to be necessary to have elaborate information. Yerba mate is the national drink of Argentina. Traditionally, you drink it from a gourd through a metal or bamboo bombilla, the subtropical flowering plant, which is a type of holly tree. Yerba mate is all about friendship and sharing. I don't think I'm a yerba mate type of person. So what do we have in here? Organic pure leaf, stimulating, healthy, and completely smoke-free pure leaf yerba mate from Misiones in Argentina. Usually it tells us what kind of like flavor to expect, but I guess these are all fairly similar. We have the organic yerba mate chamomile blend. So this has also chamomile, orange peel, and hibiscus petals. Then we have roasted pure leaf from Brazil and has an authentic, rich, and hearty taste, 100% smoke-free. And then we have whole plant yerba mate. This Peruvian favorite mate is processed in a traditional way, containing both leaves and stems. I don't know if this is for me, but I'm gonna try it. Anyways, another thing that I want to show you guys. During shopping, I found these ice cream cones. This is the type of shit that I just have to buy because it's funny and it's actually strawberry flavored. That's weird. In France, I had rose flavored, like rose water flavored ice. And for some reason that tasted really good. Do you see that? It's like a rose. I love this. This is so silly. Totally silly. Hello. Sometimes it is really weird cooking just for one. This like tiny pot. And yeah, I'm making a lasagna soup with spinach and these, like, I found this pasta that was perfect for it. Mushrooms and bell pepper. I made a cheesy sauce out of pumpkin and nooch. I'm looking forward to this. Making some bruschetta to go along with it. So I'm starting 5 feet apart. I've just shown you how I prepped the book because it is my first traveling book that I'm sending out, and I prepped it for the others to receive. Before I'm starting, I'm going to try this. I found this in the Netherlands. It's marshmallow flavored Coke, and I'm like, I gotta try this. Even though I don't drink a ton of Coke, if there's a new flavor, I need to try it. It doesn't smell like Coke or like marshmallows. It just tastes like Coca-Cola Light, which is not really my thing, but I don't taste the marshmallow. It's extremely bubbly. I'm gonna burp all night. It doesn't taste like marshmallows at all. I'm bored.
A few moments later.
So I am finally done with Nice Try Jane Sinner. So what can I tell you about this book? I enjoyed it a lot. It was a fast-paced read. It was hitting the exact point of guilty pleasure and having heavy topics in there without going heavy that I wanted. Having said that, there should be a trigger warning for suicide, and I feel like that even though I loved how this book was staying on a light and fluffy way and still dealing with heavy topics but not going too heavy, I think that the point of the suicide, it was taken too lightly, and at a few points there were even jokes being made about it in an insensitive way that I just didn't feel like were okay to do that way. Overall, I really enjoyed the voice of the main character. The main character is overly sarcastic, and you can really tell that she's blocking off every real relationship by being sarcastic every single time when it's getting serious. She is really pushing everybody away in a way that also manifests by her calling her parents the parents all the time. I feel like she's kind of trying to depersonalize the person that she gets closest to. She's very quickly shortening their name to just one letter. So I feel like there's a lot of depersonalization throughout the book. And you can really tell that Jane doesn't like to build relationships and get real with people. I think that the essence of a reality TV show was captured quite well. The essence of a ruthless producer who's just about getting the clicks or getting the views, the contestants who are there not to make friends but win. I think there were a few minor hiccups that just didn't sit perfectly with me. In the end, major issues were one with the campus faculty. How they reacted to some of these things just felt unrealistic. And then my major issue with this book, and I know it's a ridiculous issue, honestly, but my major issue with this book was that it was not structured. It just read like a non-stop diary. So the only structure that we had is the date at the top, some entries. There's no like chapters, no like structuring in books, there was no way to mentally pause and say, okay, I'm closing the book now, I'm going to make myself a new cup of tea or something. It just felt like there's no place to stop. Other than that, I did enjoy the writing style a lot. We have a lot of direct dialogue. We have texts. We have, in a few cases, essays. I think I'm gonna give it 4 or 5 stars because I really enjoyed it. And even though it might not have been perfect, I really enjoyed it a lot. So that was a really fun read. It took me a lot longer than I thought, probably because I was writing in this a lot. Like, I was honestly writing on almost every page, at least once, usually more than twice. I have a list of products that I want to gift this person, and I tried putting the pages behind it when I could use this, and then like other stuff that I noticed that I could potentially utilize. So now I have to put together this box. It's gonna be exciting. And I also want to start All the Crooked Saints today. Maybe I'm just, it's just because I'm just coming from Jane Sinner and I made so many comments. I mean, this is how I like the books. So I'm gonna get into that. I actually want to finish that today as well, but that's going to be a challenge. But if I would finish that today, I would actually for once be on track with my schedule for the rest of the month. Because tomorrow I'm going to go into the Eifel, where I meet a couple of people from this group, and I actually really would like to be able to pass this on. I have 2 other books that I would love to pass on already, but I doubt that I'm going to be able to read 3 books by tomorrow evening. Let's try.
One eternity later.
All the Crooked Saints is a super fast read, but if you're asking me what it's about, I couldn't tell you. I'm halfway through and I have no idea what's going on. I think magical realism just is not for me, and I have to admit it. I think that Maggie's stiefvater has a super amazing way of writing, and I understand all the praise that I've seen, but I was drawn to this book because I've heard so much good about Maggie's stiefvater's writing. Even though I know that magical realism is usually not my favorite genre, I picked it up. I mean, it was also a traveling book, so easier to get into. But honestly, I'm halfway through and I still don't have a clue what's going on. I think it's so confusing. I just have issues. Like, I can deal with a fantasy world because there's usually logic in it. But magical realism often lives with so much weirdness that just doesn't compute with my brain. I am getting through it really quickly, so I will try and finish it. Although I'm not sure if it actually is going to make a difference because I have no clue what's going on. Anyways, after this, tonight I will finally start 5 Feet Apart. 5 Feet Apart is the first traveling book that I'm going to send out. Since then, I felt like I don't even want it back because I don't feel strongly about this book at all. I think this is a pretty quick read as well. But now, first, let's eat. I just love vegan cooking. And I made these amazing, let me show this properly to you, quinoa cakes with a tangy chickpea salad, and it's looking good and I can't wait to dive in. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let's go. I think I'm going to watch an episode of Star Trek while I'm doing that. I love Star Trek. It's actually a good question of the week. If you read science fiction but you don't like Star Trek, recommend me your favorite science fiction book. And if you don't read science fiction, just recommend me your favorite book and tell me why it's your favorite book. All right, so let's dive into an episode of Star Trek and eat. It is Friday and I'm on my way to meet the lovely people from the Goodreads group. I have finished On the Way 5 Feet Apart. Is a book about pretty much sick children. Sounds weird, but that's what it is. They have a disease that impacts their lung and their breathing abilities. Well, they have two different kinds of sickness, and if they get close to each other, they could make each other more sick, and it could be terminal. Both sicknesses are terminal. She is waiting for a transplant, like she needs a lung. He is taking part in a study to hopefully find a cure. Most of this book plays in a hospital where they meet, etc. It is a romance book, and I am so not in the mood for a romance book, but this book is pulling at my heartstrings so much. I loved the characters, how they were written and how they were crafted, and I loved the story. I enjoyed it so much. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, even though I was not in the mood for this type of book, and I think that is saying a lot. So yeah, loved it. All right, I also continued with the Dragon Reborn on my way. I'm almost through. I'm quite confident that I'm going to finish this, and I also want to finish the Children of Virtue and Vengeance. I have 2 Saturday, Sunday over the weekend where I'm with friends, and then I have Monday to finish all these books. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to do my best. Actually out for a little walk in this area. There's a super cute little ruin, like whatever works here, I guess. Just to get a little bit moving. It's really fun seeing everyone. I've had a wonderful weekend. I actually also finished Children of Vengeance and Virtue. I do have to say I loved being back in the world, but I was a little bit disappointed by the book overall. I've just felt like I still love the characters, and I love that we are exploring how these characters are being haunted by their decision making and how not talking and not trusting and how war just can fuck everything up pretty much. And I love how this is explored, but it's, for my taste, it's been drawn too long, if you know what I mean. I just didn't feel it as much as the first one, even though I loved the world and everything. And I'm just wondering if this is a little bit due to me not reading it right after the first one, because I was so taken out of this world and I had a hard time getting back into it because it felt so different and so far away to get back into it. Anyways, gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I still loved the writing style a lot. I adore Tomi Adeyemi's writing style. I love how she describes things and how I'm drawn into this world, even though I wasn't able to get back into the world as much as I remembered being in the world in the first book, if that makes sense. Since coming home, I also started Renegades, and I am loving it so far. I'm on page 70 something, and I will probably read another 50-ish pages before I will just fall asleep. And yeah, I'm a mess. I'm tired. My hair is full of hairspray, needs to be washed desperately. And I'm looking forward to just sleeping in my bed. The hostel, or like this bed in there, it was so hard. My shoulders were hurting so much. I'm just glad that I can sleep in my bed where my shoulders won't hurt as much, and I can get a little bit more than 5 hours sleep. I'm so tired, but I had a wonderful weekend. Yeah. This is it for this week. I hope you liked what you saw. I appreciate you joining me for another vlog, and I hope to see you again on my channel real soon. Until then, bye!